video, I'm going to be talking about our talk on January 20th on supporting refugee and newcomer students. I got so much out of this class. I'm going to try and keep it shorter, but I found this, like the whole class, incredibly important and emotional, as all these classes are, but I really, really appreciated it and couldn't stop talking to my partner today about everything. But I really appreciated the Newman and Niazov article that we had to read, talking about how refugee students benefit from culturally relevant curriculums, pedagogy, as well as the availability of cultural brokers and liaisons, and the importance of teachers in being part of that, like, as liaisons, and the importance of us actually making an effort to connect to the parents and the child and integrate the child's culture into the curriculum, because culturally relevant pedagogy doesn't end anyway, is critical for refugee and newcomer students, and it really directly correlates to their academic success, as with all marginalized students. So I found it really positive to learn and talk from both of our presenters as well, about how teachers, across the board, teachers have the strongest effect on the well-being and academic success of students, no matter their background, sociocultural backgrounds, as well as their refugee status. Like, teachers can actually be that bridge between not being able to integrate into school and their society and succeed in a meaningful way, and then being invited in and being shown that they're appreciated and seen as smart and valuable and welcome, and how significantly that affects students' success rates as well as their mental health. I think it's really beautiful and empowering to see that even though there's so much pain in the world, and we will likely teach students who have gone through unimaginable traumas and are experiencing systemic barriers and failures, that we can't really, we can't change those, but we can change what the student, like, we have an incredible amount of influence on their academic success, and that's huge. That our role as teachers, making students feel welcome and included and successful and believing in their success, and the way that we cultivate our classrooms can make people feel like they can be successful and achieve, and that's so beautiful. So I really, really loved both of the presentations. I thought learning about multi-literacy pedagogy was so cool, and multimodal literacy. I thought that the Minds On activity that they did, where they had one class struggle to make incredibly difficult words and understand what the activity was supposed to be, and then the other half was given a really easy activity, but the teacher was telling both groups that it was easy and they should be able to do that. I thought that was really great mindset activity to do with my own students to try and give perspective on what it might be like to move to a new country and try and learn a new language. And also, showing like how impressive and valuable it is that the children are coming to schools with already knowing one or more languages and are being expected to learn new things and are struggling but still doing it. And I really appreciate that the readings and the presentations talked about like how much we need to celebrate and show admiration for these students and their accomplishments. And I really appreciated what Professor Mary Reed was saying about teaching about the high achieving famous newcomers or people who immigrated to Canada, and not just for the students who might be newcomers themselves to see, but also for Canadian-born children to see in case they are experiencing any of the myths and crazy by things that we reproduce in the news about how immigrants are dangerous or stealing our jobs, or the reason behind all these issues. I think it's great that we are learning about how to teach not only that what true and like look at all these amazing people who didn't do that, but also what is really the meaning behind or the issues behind what we're experiencing. Like, why do we have a housing crisis? And why do we have a healthcare crisis? And making sure that our students understand that it's not because of newcomers and that they are a scapegoat, but it's actually looking at the systems that create those issues that have nothing to do with newcomers. Talking about inclusive classroom environments and creating a sense of belonging, cultural humility, trusting teacher, students, and relationships, and so that the children don't have to fear stigma, and an inclusive pedagogy mindset with an asset-based view, multiliteracy, pedagogy, learning by design, identity-affirming learning, how those two things together can create academic persistence outcomes. So those inclusive pedagogy mindset and classroom environment can encourage students to actually ask for help, participate in class, and persevere on challenging tasks and stay engaged despite all the barriers that they experience. And I really appreciated that the first group talked about how everyday practice that we can integrate into our classrooms to ensure these things, like designing multimodal ways to participate, showing belief and availability of the teacher explicitly, building inclusive peer culture, intentionally connecting learning to students' identities, and treating persistence as co-created. That's something we do as a classroom together, and creating a classroom community. I love this. I thought today's lesson was so beautiful, and I'm really grateful for this class. I have a lot more to say, but if we're at 9 minutes, I'm sorry for rambling so much. Thank you so much.